the worst case is we chuck it.
That's right. It's being recorded right now. So
okay, this is live recording.
Okay, we don't have people talking to us, but it says that they're all. Oh, it says 11 total viewers. 2 people are watching live. Okay, so it's just me and you right now, but that's okay because we'll just let's just talk, and it's recording, and people can jump in anytime. And so, I want you to tell me about the Apple announcements the other day because I did not watch or pay attention to any of it. So tell me what I need to know as a non-Apple user, and I'll comment on it.
Okay, couple of things I think you need to know. First of all, Apple's secrets are no longer secrets. Pretty much everything that was going to be announced was leaked out beforehand. And I think that do
you think that was because they were trying to boost engagement in it? Because I know last year's sales, one of the two, I'm sorry, I know, after they did announcements last time, their sales of new devices were flatter than what they expected.
Right. You know, in the big game of corporate stuff, you don't know if it's all, you don't know how much of the leaks are leaked, like in the government, here, put this out here to make someone look bad, or I don't know. The line between leak and tease is probably very, very close.
I agree.
Okay, so the big deal here. Okay, let's see. So I think we could break this down into probably 3 categories. Okay. We got new version of the phone, which is essentially the same. Apple has a refresh cycle where they come out with a new body style, then they come out with a kind of new body style that's even better, and then they'll come out, or excuse me, new body style, same body style, it's better, that has an S in the name, and then they'll come out with a new body style. So we're in the same body style. We're going to have an S in the name, and I actually think it is pretty amazing. I think the horsepower, they showed some games, and they had a game developer, like a Mech Warrior type game developer, and he was talking about how they threw, they're showing this game, and it looks pretty awesome. I'm not a big gamer, but I understand 60 frames a second, and I understand that when they start throwing fire and smoke and different stuff, how that should slow things down. And they said, well, we kept throwing layers after layer after layer, and then we couldn't get it to slow down, so we just threw the whole thing at it, and it still kept going.
Yeah, that's I know with my son and my husband, they did, especially WoW, for a long time. As our computers got better and as the software got better, it used to be they had to turn certain things down, especially the background imaging and stuff. And the latest one, it is so different from when they first started playing many years ago. It just blows me away every time I see it.
It is. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so we got faster CPU, faster graphics. That's a given. Okay. I think that the real big deal, and Android people will probably yawn. What are you drinking? Is that a wine? Are we doing a little wine?
I'm having wine.
Okay, so when she starts, this is going to be tech and wine. So if she starts slurring her speech, that's when it really starts getting good.
I think you're good today. It's not Fireball or anything. It's just wine tonight. So you're good.
There is a new technology that Apple came up with called Force Touch.
Right.
And I have it on my laptop with the touchpad, where the touchpad is actually just a solid piece of glass, and it's pretty much, it's very, I guess it's just like the haptic feedback on other devices, but of course Apple's put their own marketing spin on it. And now the one thing that there's 3 people here. Hey, Marty. This is absolutely where the cool people are. So the difference between haptic feedback and Force Touch is the fact that on your haptic feedback devices, you touch it, it responds back to you. That's pretty much it.
I went ahead, Tommy, I added Marty in because
here's Marty.
Fabulous.
Pay no attention to the man in the corner.
Oh, that's okay. You be down there and do what you like. We're glad that you joined us. This is the first time Tommy and I are doing this. We've been talking about doing a show together for a long time, and I was loving Blab, so I thought we would give it a try. So.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Tommy?
I love the headset. That's nice. What kind of headset is that? Is it like Sennheiser?
It's just Sony headset here. I can go with the small one if you want, but
No. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. So we're
Tommy's updating me on the Apple updates that took the announcements because I didn't pay any attention since I'm not an Apple user. So.
And I'm discussing the difference between the haptic feedback of like Android phones and Force Touch. So haptic feedback is basically it's just basically gonna tell you, okay, you touched it, and you're gonna get like a little feedback back in there. On the Force Touch, you can actually have different levels of tapping or pressing. And so on my laptop, if you touch the trackpad when the power's off, you basically get nothing. It's like hitting a pane of glass. But when the power's there, you can actually have different levels of pressing. So you can have they have like a regular press and they have a deep press. And I don't know how many different levels it supports, but it's pretty amazing. So if you're like so you can like press a button and you can even press it harder.
Tommy, I want to interrupt here and I want to ask something. And so I'm not sure if it's called something like that. So this is my Surface Pro 3.
Yep.
And so I know with the drawing things and the stylus and fresh paint and stuff, as you touch that harder, longer on your screen, it is like a bigger, darker image, like if you're drawing and stuff. So is that the same kind of thing we're talking about?
So you're talking about stylus and the screen, correct?
And your finger as well.
Okay, no, you're talking about now. Do you get feedback? Do you get different levels of feedback? Like, does the screen tell you, other than the fact you can see it, do you get a different see? And I think that might be the separation point, is the fact that the screen actually gives you feedback in different degrees of how hard you're pressing.
And it could be something that it would tell me. It's not anything I'm familiar with on the Microsoft stuff. I just was curious about it because I know that when I do those other things, it does.
Well,
so
it's all Apple PR. It might just be just a line of just happy horse.
Hey, that's what we're hearing about. And Marty's always happy to talk Apple, right?
Oh,
Marty's an Apple guy too.
Are you kidding?
I'm the odd man out here.
Yeah. Saturday, I'm going to be on the phone, getting my new phone. I'm going to be working that at 12 o'clock midnight Central Time. I'm going to be all over that, like a hobo on a ham sandwich.
Are you guys doing another live Twitter party for the new release of the phones?
I haven't heard anything. I mean, I wouldn't mind especially if I got another new phone. That would be awesome.
Well, you know what? We may have to talk to someone tomorrow about that and see if they're going to do that. So
yeah, who doesn't like free stuff?
What do you have now, Tommy?
Oh, I have a 6. I have just a regular. I have the kind of the poor man 6. It's kind of getting cracked. It's kind of getting a little. I don't know how the same thing happens every year when the new iPhone comes out. Your old one kind of gets old. It's slow. Kind of the tires are getting bald. It's time for how it is. It's time. But there it is. There it is.
I am the same way with my phone. So this is my Galaxy Note 4. My 5 is on the way. I cannot wait to get it.
So I saw the 5 in the Verizon store. I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and they had some. I think they did. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But they definitely had lots of Samsung stuff in there.
Right. Yeah, they're big there.
What do you think about while we're on Samsung? Have any of you guys played with the 6 Edge? Have you seen that?
I have. I've seen all the edges. For the longest time, I didn't pay enough attention to what it was, and I didn't realize why it was called the Edge, except that when and then I saw, that it's like right on the edge that you can see stuff. It's like almost like a little news ticker down there,
right
on the side of it. So you could have it laying down, and rather than having to pick up your phone, you would be able to read like right on this part. It's not plastic; it's the screen.
Oh, I didn't see it. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, for people who don't. Especially people who are getting constant updates, I think, that really need to stay on top of things. It depends on what you do. Not everybody needs that, but just like any feature of a phone, it just depends on your use. But if you just need to stay in touch with things, I think that's awesome that you can do that with it.
Got it.
Or you just get the watch.
Let's talk about that for a second. I have an Apple Watch. My friend gave me one just to play with, and you know what? I don't get it. I have my phone. I don't know. I'm just not the Apple Watch. I can't do it. I have to admit it. Maybe I'm faltering. Steve Jobs is
is
crying up in heaven, but it's just not working for me. It's not working for me.
This is the thing that I found. So we've had, in my house, we've had smartwatches since the first Sony smartwatch. So that's been a few years now. And then we've gone to Samsung and, different ones. And then we have the activity trackers too, which are a different animal. So I've had the Galaxy Gear 1 and Galaxy Gear 2, and I love them both. They're very cool. The coolest part about them was being able to take pictures and everybody oohing and ahhing over them, though. That was really one of the coolest things about it.
You take pictures right from the watch?
Yeah. In the gear you could. But what I love more now is my Microsoft Band. And it doesn't have a camera in it, but it's that activity tracker, like the Jawbones and things like that, except for it also does those same updates that you can get on the watches. So I can get my text messages. I can see incoming calls. I can reply to text messages. I mean, I can get all those updates and have the activity tracker, which you can do on the watches too, but they're really big and bulky. And I like this much better. This has become my favorite wearable right now.
Nice.
Yeah, my Jawbone Up, as you can tell, I don't have one and it broke. So the battery died. So I need a new wearable. I need something new now.
If it was under warranty, you should contact them. The Jawbone is really good about customer service.
I know they are. It's like 1.5 years old though, so it's past the warranty. It's just one of those things.
Marty, what is your favorite wearable? The Apple Watch?
Not even close. I mean, and I think it's funny because Tommy expresses a very common feeling about the Apple Watch, and I think that kind of falls in two camps. And I totally understand that. I hear that a lot. You have the phone in your pocket. Why do you need the watch? I think for me, I work from home, and I do a lot on email, a lot from Messenger, a lot of different things coming at me. And Misty's even worse. Misty's got even more stuff coming in, and we're running around. And I'll tell you, just the idea of getting notifications on my wrist and not having to, hold on to anything. I'll give you an example. Last weekend, we were in New Jersey doing a video shoot, and we were running. It was at a high school football game, so I had my hands full, and I was still getting messages in from other projects, and also just Misty was in another area of the field, and just getting messages and the text messages coming into this thing. I can just look down. And there's quick replies, and I can just go, yep, play it, and off and running. I don't have to put my stuff down. It's a very edge use case, sort of, but I think for people who rely on notifications and all that stuff, I can't live without it now. And also I have the big phone, so I can leave this on my desk at home, and I can walk around the house.
Yep.
If I'm in the kitchen doing something, as emails come in, I just glance down, and then I don't have to deal with it, and I do what I need to do. So for that, it's worth it for me. The other thing I think, and for you, Tommy, if you have a watch and kind of struggling to figure out, okay, is this any good? The applications on the watch aren't that great right now because it relies on the phone. But I think in a week, when they have the Watch OS 2 out, it's going to have native apps. I'll be interested to see how that affects performance. I think it will step it up pretty well. And I think, again, it's kind of a moving game. And the other thing is, lastly, a lot of the Apple stuff is reliant on everything working together. And I'm all Apple, so I use a MacBook Pro for my main computer. I use the iPhone, I use the watch, and I use an iPad. And the handoff capabilities, and in fact, just even taking phone calls.
Oh yeah.
My phone rings. It rings on my computer. Rings on my watch. So if I'm doing something, lots of times the only phone calls I'm getting are junk phone calls. I'm able to glance down. If I don't recognize the number, I can dismiss it right on my watch. If I'm in another room, I don't have to go find my phone. Just for that little convenience for me, shaves off some time. It's worth it. But I can definitely understand what you're saying.
No wonder you never answer my phone.
I have to jump in here only because we're talking so much Apple right now, and I know you guys both love your Apple stuff. But I know both of you know that this is the same thing that I say about my Windows stuff, is that I love how connected it is, and I think Apple did it better first. I'm not taking that away from Apple at all, but Microsoft has really stepped up the game. And on top of this, so all of my devices are Windows based except for I'm using my Android phone now, my Samsung Note 4. But what's really great, I just did a blog post this week about it, was that Microsoft has released all of their official apps. Not everything, but there's tons of them. I mean, Office and Outlook and Skype and everything for the Android devices, and they work flawlessly. And so I love the Windows Phone for many things, but apps have not been, the really popular apps have been slow coming for them and stuff. And that's always been an issue. So now it's not an issue for me because I can run my Windows stuff that is seamlessly integrated with my actual Windows-based devices on this phone. And so it's been perfect for me. And I love that.
And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it's hard to say anything negative about like Office 365. I mean, it's bulletproof. It's absolutely positively bulletproof. Oh, guilty. We use it at work. Yeah. The transition was as sweet as deal. And if a computer takes a digger, you just reinstall it, downloads everything from the cloud. I mean, that Exchange client is the best thing in the world. It really is.
Right.
And certainly days of having like robust Exchange servers at work, I think those are dead. I mean, they really do. I mean, why would you do that?
But you know what? The problem is, Tommy, is that some of these people who don't, and I think a lot of the people that we know, I mean, and that's what I named this. I said Everyday Tech Talk, because while we all can talk a little bit more on the technical specifications of things, I think for all of us, a lot of our audiences are just regular people, and they just want to know how to use this stuff and have the cool stuff, and how do they actually make it part of their life to make their life better.
Right.
And so I think that's part of it, is that not everybody has all of those Exchange servers and stuff at work, but even without them, it's still a great product. If you're using it as an individual, and there's, different options for it and stuff now. So,
what's great to see from Microsoft, and you saw this at the Apple event yesterday, I think they've done a nice job transitioning to becoming a cloud company. They've always been
they have.
For software.
Yeah.
And they, I think they've gone through some trials and tribulations, but I think that's one thing that they're doing well. Google's doing well. Apple still has to kind of prove. I'm an Apple fan, but to be honest, Apple's still got to prove themselves on the cloud. I think that's been a real struggle for them. And what's smart about what Microsoft is doing, like you mentioned, Robyn, is that they're going on all the platforms. So yesterday, when they demonstrated the iPad Pro, they did a nice job. They have a whole nice version of Office specifically designed for the iPad Pro and all the different functionality that tablet brings. So they're very smart. They're and it's ironic almost to see Apple and Microsoft and IBM, all these past rivals playing nice now, right? Because the business has changed.
And I love that Apple announced a stylus finally, because Steve Jobs, famously said, who wants to use a pen or a pencil or whatever. I am a firm believer in the stylus. I have it on the Note 4 and on my Surface Pro 3. That is the smoothest stylus I have ever used in my life. Tommy, you tried it. I didn't have the Surface Pro 3 yet, even. I don't think so.
No, it was in the mail when it was in the mail.
Yeah, it was just the Surface 2, I think I had. And it's even better. I mean, it is like writing with a really nice pen. I am just blown away by it all the time. And for people who are still not sure about a stylus, there's a lot of people who love their digital stuff, but then will sit down with a pen and paper at a meeting or something like that. You don't have to do that anymore. I mean, you can if you want to. I mean, I like pen and paper too, but the stylus is fabulous. So,
Marty, you said something that was pretty key. I just want to tee off on this one for a second. When you talked about Microsoft in the cloud and getting with the program very quickly, I think it's the reason Office is so huge, because back in the day, WordPerfect owned everything. And then when Windows came out with Windows 3.1, WordPerfect said, oh, that's dumb. We're not going to get on that bandwagon. And they came out with a version of Office, and it pretty much blew everybody away.
Oh, I remember those WordPerfect days, and that was the DOS days, the non-connected days, right?
Oh yeah,
I still love me a DOS screen every once in a while. Just being able that I know those commands and I can type them in and do what I want to do. Computer, it's down to its basic roots. And
you're right. And you just want to be able to focus. No crawlers at the bottom. No distraction. You don't want it to be able to just someone WordPerfect. You just want to be able to. I did all my college work on WordPerfect 5.1.
I was in junior high the first and only time, which is not saying much for my school district. And in public school, I had to do a term paper, and it was for history and English at the same time. I was the only person, I think, probably in our school that had a computer at home, and it was a Texas Instrument. And
Nice.
we had it hooked up to a TV, and we had a printer, big giant thing, and the floppy drive was like this big. And all my friends were like, I want to come over and use it. I don't want to type it on a typewriter. So I've been doing this for quite some time now, because I'm 45 now. So that was a while ago. So
45. You don't look a day over like 32.
Well, thank you very much. I promise I'm 45. I was born in 1970.
Wow.
Marty, what was your first computer ever?
Ever? Boy, let me think about that. I think it was that I bought on my own. I think it was the Mac Classic. My brother had a Mac Plus, like the second Macintosh that came out with, and it's funny. It was back in '85, maybe '86, maybe '86. My brother bought his. I think it must have been like $2,000 or $3,000, and I think it came with 1 megabyte of RAM. 1 megabyte.
Isn't that crazy?
And it came no hard drive. It came with a single floppy, the 3.5 floppy disk, and the floppy disk had just switched over to I think it was like a little over a megabyte, like a mega and a half floppy disk, and that was
That's
huge.
right, 1.4.
But you started with the small. I started with the 5 1/4, 5.5, whatever those big giant that were actually floppy.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
That's what we started with. I'm impressed that I had a computer. It sounds like earlier than you did, Marty. Yeah. I'm very impressed with myself.
Yeah, I never had. Yeah, that was my first. And then my brother had one first. And then my first one that I got, I believe, was the Mac Classic, I think. It was a while later because I was playing with computers at work and this and that. But
right.
And I could never scrape enough money together. Computers were so expensive.
Yes, so expensive.
But the Mac Classic. And then I went, my first laptop in '99 was an old Dell Pentium 4 laptop. I think this thing had 20 what was it, like 20 megabytes? No, it was I don't know, was it 512? I think I expanded it to 512 megabytes of RAM, and that
seems so
oh my God.
minute,
I know,
crazy. Had a 4 gig hard drive, and then I got a 20 gig hard drive, and I thought I was like living large.
Lammy Poo mentioned that she used dial-up to University of Florida to run Pascal programs, which I thought was funny. And we all remember the modem. And one of the earliest kind of little computer tricks that I learned on the more, common computers was how to silence the modem, so you didn't hear that noise. And it was this simple, just like a slash and an M or something. It was so easy to do. And people would come over and they're like, but you're not dialing up. I mean, yeah, I am. It's going. Don't worry. And then I had to do it for everybody.
There was like
as long as your roommates don't pick up the phone.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's another thing. You ever had that where you get knocked offline when someone pick up the extension phone? Oh my God.
Yep.
Wow.
All had that. All right. I know something else we wanted to talk about, Tommy, that we mentioned was the email scandal that's going on. Now, I would say, this is what I want to say before we start talking about this, is that we all have different political opinions, and it's not so much about the politics, I think. I just would love to know what you guys think about the process. Let's not dig on, the Hillary too much.
No digging. We can keep this. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that the Martha Stewart syndrome is in absolutely full effect. Let me explain. Martha Stewart cooked herself not because of what she did, but because how she tried to hide it.
Right.
And I think that right, wrong, or indifferent, all the news oxygen is being taken by two topics. Mr. Trump is topic number one. Topic number two is emails. Right. That's it. There's absolutely nothing short of her dropping out of the race. Is it going to fail? And I think that if the Justice Department gets somebody under immunity, I think she's in deep trouble. I just do. I mean, I think everything that's being said is trying to hide something. That's what I think.
Well, and so do you think, though, that, I mean, obviously politics are at play here in it, and then the Republicans have a lot more to gain by talking negatively about it or making it bigger than what it is, if that's possible. I'm saying if we could establish that it's this level, the Republicans have more to gain by making it this level, just like the news. When there's a terrible tragedy, that's all we see on the news because they want ratings. And so it's the same kind of thing. And the Democrats are trying to downplay it and stuff. Do you think, though, that the majority of the people understand why the email issue is an issue?
I would say no. I don't think they understand the whole classified data. I don't think certainly I don't understand how something can be classified now that wasn't classified then. I don't think they understand. Well, it's goofy. I mean, there's I didn't want to carry around two different devices. I didn't want to, I don't think anybody has any idea. And I think it's just an us and them political type of, I guess, witch hunt as far as most people understand. The commoner probably doesn't understand what the hell's going on.
Right. And I think it's the same, I know when Obama took office, he was a BlackBerry addict, I believe, and they had to make something custom for him. And I think that, we're really seeing that. So we had the first president, way back when that was the first on TV. And so then they had a different set of rules and the first on radio and that. And so now we're in this digital age. And the thing is, it just grows and grows and grows and it keeps going. And what can they do and what can't they do and what can people see and what they can't. And I think that it's just like the internet. We still call it the wild, wild west. I think for politics, it's even wilder as far as technology goes right now.
Agreed.
Marty, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing a little reading on this. I think a lot of the government officials, they kind of have private servers and this and that. And, I think the thing with Hillary, I mean, I think, and I'm not gonna come down either side politically on this.
It's okay.
One.
It's okay. But like we said, we're all I'm very liberal. I'm a hug a tree kind of person. I know that is not Tommy. So I mean, we're all different, and it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the history. I think what she's got to get over is the history. Right. I mean, the Republicans done a nice job bringing up a lot of doubts. All you have to do is bring up doubts that something's going wrong. But just on a technical side, yeah, I mean,
we can't even get people to understand that they need secure passwords. So that's what I was saying. That the common person, most common people don't get what's happening with the email. And so that's why I'm wondering, the politicos on TV are talking about it so much for sure. And people in the know about technology and that are talking about it. But does the common person, because they don't really truly understand what the big deal is, because they're like, I get email all day long. What's the problem? Right. Does it become more of a non-issue for them?
I mean,
it's very hard to be Switzerland on the whole thing. It really is.
Well, you know what it is?
I understand.
Just from a technical standpoint, I think it's that encryption. Normal email is not encrypted. It's open. It's very unsecure. So, as long I don't think people realize that when they're sending email back and forth. I mean, most of the stuff I get an email is not like there's no sensitive information in there. If you're buying something online, they're going to block out the credit card number anyway. It's not a big deal. But I don't think people realize how email works. And, unless you use encryption on both ends and encryption key and all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's you can still do it, but the other person has to have the key on the other end. It's going to be unencrypted. So government, they set up these encrypted servers. They have a whole whole procedure there to send this email securely. And I don't think people realize, but I think, Robyn, you brought up a good point. I think out of all this mess, it's a good reminder to the average person, to just be wary of your security, whether it's a password, use a password manager. A lot of people still use the word password for their passwords. Like the whole, I mean, I don't know if you want to go there, but the whole Ashley Madison.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Whole Ashley Madison thing where stolen passwords and people, and I've read an article online where the top 10 passwords on Ashley Madison, when they recovered the data, the top one, guess what that was? It was password.
Password.
I mean,
or 1, 2, 3 ABC. I know I did a post about this many years ago, and when you see updated list of the most common passwords, there's still the same ones up there. And I'm like, come on, people. I mean, I understand you may not think it's necessary to have a great password for, if you're a subscriber on a cooking website or whatever, you don't want anybody to hack your recipes. I like recipes. I'm a cook. You guys know I'm a cook and everything. But the thing is that now, because everything is so interconnected, like we were talking about with Apple products, Microsoft products, Google products, when you log into one thing, you're logging into a lot of things, really. And it has access to different apps and different things that you do, including purchasing things and your credit card and, bill paying and all sorts of stuff. And that's why, it's so important. I don't know how to get through people's head, because even people that I know in my own family suck at passwords. And I'm like, come on, I've been preaching this to you for years, and they don't get it still.
You know what it also is? It's like, I know you guys are familiar with tools like LastPass. On the Mac, it's 1Password. I recently switched to 1Password. There's several of them that are all good and equal. And the idea is that, they'll select the password for you. They'll do a random password, nice jumble of uppercase, lowercase letters, numbers, symbols, nice long string. They'll store it securely. They'll associate the login. And then when you go to the website, you have a plugin for your browser. You can go right in and signs you in automatically. I think what the problem is, nobody wants to take the 5 seconds it takes to learn about this and how easy it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Path of least resistance.
Right, versus
absolutely.
the trouble that you'll get into when someone gets and the most important password outside of your banking is your email password. Because if someone gets that, then they could do.
You're done. Yeah. Oh, you're done. You're totally done.
Well, and it's like that for everything on the phone. And so we just had, Windows 10, come out not too long ago. And I posted about that, and I was trying to explain to people, I'm like, you got to just give it a chance. I mean, if you're a Windows person, now, if you're not a Windows person, that's okay. You don't have to give it a chance. But if you're going to, the people who go, oh, I hate it, and the same thing they did with 8, 7, Vista, whatever. The thing is you have to give yourself time. Human brains need repetition in order to learn and understand things. And
muscle memory.
Right. As intuitive as any program can be, it really is dependent upon you using it. And so you just have to practice those same things. When I teach, my dad has an iPad, and he's the only person I give Apple advice to. I help him with this because he needs basic stuff. But when I see him in person, he usually has a question or two, and he needs me to fix or adjust something. And I teach him one new thing each time I see him. And that's it. And then he practices it until he gets it down. Because for him, he was very technologically phobic, and that works for him. My mom has all sorts of computers and iPads. She's happy with them, but my dad doesn't like taking advice from her as much, I don't think. All right, Tommy, what else? What else? Do we have another topic?
People who's figured out animated GIFs in the comments.
I saw that. She's funny. Thank you so much, Mamie.
No, I think we hit all the good. I think we had the good. This is a great first crack at this. I think this is. I appreciate Marty joining. He added. He added some knowledge base that I just didn't have. I mean, when you go from kindergarten to high school with Marty here, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, Tommy, come on.
Okay, and I'm going to give Marty some more props here because, so just so you guys know, a little disclosure here, we all three of us actually work with OM Media Group, and we do a lot of different things with them. But Marty, what is your official title? Are you the media producer? Do you have an official title, or it's whatever you want it to be?
It's some nice sounding title.
You're the $6 million man.
Monica was generously bestowed on me.
Right. But I am amazed. People think video. So like this is simple that we can just get on here and chat like this. But Marty's knowledge of all of the back end stuff, and then all these extra cool things to do with it, and then all of his equipment that make everything sound and look so much better. I'm blown away every time I work with you behind the scenes, or I see you in person with all of your stuff. And I also love, and I would never be this way myself because that's not me, you are so meticulous about putting your things away. When we're on location someplace, oh my gosh, I always know that Marty's the last one packed up, but he is meticulous and has everything in its spot, and it's awesome. So
Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
You do.
And I think Tommy will appreciate this. I actually upgraded my system again. I got. I'm not sure, Tommy. I'm not sure if you ever heard of TriCaster.
Yes, I have heard of a TriCaster.
I got the TriCaster.
They have them in Star Trek.
So, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Well, that's a tricorder. I think you're confusing it a little bit.
Oh, okay. This is a phone booth. Got it.
So next time we do a location, you'll see a whole new setup. But my setup now, and I'm dying to go on location with it, is so much like Robyn. You were mentioning how I'm wrapping up all my stuff. I've refined that whole setup, so it should take me, less than half the time to do what all I did. So
that's awesome. But it's still, I'm total props to you that you are that diligent about it. My thing is, you guys, I'm reaching down here. So, I carry a big bag around all the time and I just throw everything in it. My only organizing thing I have in here, and it's in the bottom of my purse. I found these little, they're like twist ties, but they're rubber coated and they're reusable. And it's so great when I do travel to to twist up all my cords and keep them somewhat in order so it's not as bad in my bag. But that's as far as I go as organization.
No, you're doing just fine. I mean, I get paid for this is my thing, so I have to get into this stuff. But yeah, I mean, those kind of tips, that's a good way to keep, if you just coil cords and keep it all neat.
Yep. And those little things I got at Target, by the way, there was a pack of 5 of them for $5. One of the best things I've ever spent money on as far as an accessory for my gadgets and stuff.
Now, Robyn, you're not using your mic.
Okay, so we started out. It's right here.
I can help you with that. I can help.
Okay. Yes.
You could.
I will need I keep bumping into my sign back there. I will need your help because what happened is Tommy and I got on here and I was like, I don't know if it's hearing me from my microphone, which was in front of me, or from the earbuds, or from the camera, or what.
Right.
And so, but I knew I did charge up my earbuds, so I knew so we didn't have that other problem I had.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. So I turned the microphone off, and Tommy could still hear me. So the same. So I figured it wasn't coming from that. But yes, I do need your technical assistance at some point on getting that fixed, so I know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, with you're both are using the
LG tones.
Yeah. So I think it's now. I think Tommy, the mic. It's taking the sound from your mic, but I don't think Robyn. I don't think it's taking your mic.
So it's probably coming from my camera.
I think so. Yeah.
It's the Logitech one that you told me to get. That's probably where it's coming from. Luckily, I have a loud voice, but
even that, the microphone on that Logitech is pretty good. And since you're projecting right into it, it's much less room echo than you'd had before. Right. But that Audio Technica mic, I heard you did an update video, and it sounds it makes all the difference because you don't hear any room anymore. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
I'll get with you, at some point soon, and you can help me figure out what I need to tell my computer. And
even you could use it on if you want to do more shows on Blab, you can use it here. And the key with that is when you first get on, there's a little camera setting that looks like are you using the Chrome browser?
Yes.
Okay. In the URL bar, and Tommy, it's for you too if you want to use any other camera or mic or whatever.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, looks like a little camera. Click on that. Yeah. It'll drop down, and then you can select your camera microphone.
I'm actually using my iPhone here. I'm just looking at the front-facing camera on my iPhone.
Yours sounds pretty good. But if you did want to select anything,
I'm professional here.
You can select. You can because on this you'll hear a lot of people talk. This is like everyone's getting into the gear on here, and everyone's becoming aware. But when you do change for some reason on there you go.
I just changed it.
For some reason, what you're going to have to do, we can test it right now. What you're going to have to do on that mic, Robyn, is go to that setting, select, when you plug it in,
I did.
Did you select it?
Yeah, I selected from the browser.
Okay.
I went down there. Do I sound any different?
No, because what you're going to have to do is click out of that, click done, and then you're going to have to refresh your browser. And what it's going to do is it's going to knock you out of the Blab. Then you're just going to come, since you're the host, you can come right back in.
Okay.
And the mic should be selected.
Okay, let's see this. I'm just hanging out. Then I got to cut after this because she's gone. Good, we got rid of her.
Now it's your show. Oh, no, see.
Here she comes.
Oh, no, for some reason it's not. Okay, I'm wondering if it's. Can you hear us? Okay.
Oh, this is the best Robyn ever. This is the silent Robyn. I love the silent Robyn. I love this.
This could be like an on-screen tutorial. So,
hey, Robyn, what do you think about this? Oh, she's pretty mute on the whole thing. That's great. It's like a Senate vote. Hey, Robyn, what do you think? Oh, now
Oh,
she's gone.
she's gone again. Wait, let's see if she. Because the idea is you have to change your setting. It might be her Bluetooth headphones are interfering with her setup.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it might be those Bluetooth earphones are interfering with the setup.
And I'm gonna get a pair of plug-in kind like you told me.
Yeah. But once you get that, so what you're gonna have to do is once you get that set up and you come in and it works, the browser should remember that setup and you should be able to come in every time like that. So,
I never even noticed that little camera over there. That's an awesome tip. All right, so everybody watching, Lammy Poo, you're the only one left besides us. Thank you for staying with us. But in case you didn't know, it's got that little camera up there in the URL bar in Chrome. That's awesome. I learn something new every day, and I love that.
Everything. Yeah. Robyn, what a treat. We will obviously be doing this again.
Yes.
I gotta cut. I hear some steps upstairs, so I gotta take care of some little first grader that's not in bed now.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you everybody who might watch this in the replay. Thank you, Marty, for jumping in with us. We loved having you.
Make sure to post about it.
Yes.
We'll spread the word.
Awesome. And Tommy, we will plan when the next one's going to be. I think we need to do it on a regular basis. I liked the whole format today.
I love it. Peace out, guys.
Bye, guys.
Happy evening. Bye.
Thanks. Okay, how do I end it?